I'm ALEAH FLAIR. I'm a stage 3 breast cancer survivor. I'm a wife, a friend, a daughter, and an editor. I was diagnosed at 31 in 2015. So I was very blindsided by this diagnosis. Breast cancer was not on my radar. I didn't have any breast cancer in my family. I was working full time at a nonprofit, and it just was not on my radar at all. So when I found a lump and I went into the doctor, I was even finding the lump and going in, I was still so shocked that it ended up being cancer because of my age, because I just didn't think that it was in my orbit at all. And I just did not think that it was going to happen to me, not at that age. It was really not on my radar at all. So because I was so young, because it was stage 3 and it was in my lymph nodes, I ended up needing a lot of treatment. So I ended up doing the Red Devil chemo, the ACT regimen of chemo, which lasted several months. I was also HER2 positive, so I did a full year of targeted therapies. Because they didn't get very clear surgical margins on my mastectomy, I had to do radiation. My mastectomy was a single mastectomy. I chose not to reconstruct, so I just did one single mastectomy. I did that before my chemo and my radiation. And then once I finished, I think it was about 33 rounds of radiation, I was on a regimen of ovarian suppression and aromatase inhibitors, which I actually just stopped a few months ago. They wanted me on a 10-year regimen, and I just made it to 10 years. So, and I'm doing great. So this is the first time I've actually been off any sort of cancer medicine in 10 years. I think the lowest moment for me was just the amount of treatment that I had. I started out with a lot of momentum where I just wanted to get through it. I wanted the cancer to be gone. And so I came in with about as much energy as I had to fight it as I could possibly muster. And I felt like I started really strong. But this was a long haul of treatment. It was a marathon, not a sprint. And about halfway through, it just started to feel so, I don't wanna say hopeless, but it started to feel really challenging in a way that I hadn't anticipated, because my goal at that point was just to beat the cancer, fight the cancer, get healthy. So about halfway through, you're through chemo, I'm getting ready for radiation, and I just realized I still have so much to go. I also was working full time, so trying to balance working with all of the treatment that I had, and then also just keep, my home together and my relationships together, and make sure I'm connecting with family who are concerned and friends who are concerned. It was really, really difficult, even for somebody who went into it thinking like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to give it my all. I just felt at a certain point, I was so tired and um, just so done feeling. I felt so done with treatment. Like, I can't believe I still have more to go. That was probably the lowest point, knowing that I still had to keep my life up, but I also had to keep my momentum of treatment up and keep that rolling. And I didn't want any complications with that. Want to get a cold. I didn't want to get sick. I didn't want anything to delay or hamper my treatment schedule. So it was basically, I had to put all of my physical, mental, and emotional energy into it every single day for probably a year. And that's a lot. That was a lot. So about halfway through is when I started thinking, I don't know if I can do this much longer. How am I going to keep this up much longer? And, the surprise about that is that somehow there's like an invisible well inside you that you pull from. Even though you think I'm at empty, there's a little bit left in the tank. There's always a little bit left in the tank. So I was able to kind of make it through, but I wouldn't say it was graceful. I wouldn't say it was pretty, but I did it. Community is, I think, one of the most important parts of going through a breast cancer diagnosis. Not only do you have, friends and family who are there, and I was so lucky to have friends and family who are here. And my mom ended up moving up in with me essentially for a couple of months just to help out. And that was wonderful. And I had wonderful friends. But the thing that I also realized was so important was the community of other survivors, which in the beginning I was very leery to connect with other survivors. I felt a little on the younger side. I thought, well, is there anyone really like me out there? I didn't know a lot about breast cancer before I got it. So I just didn't know. I felt like I didn't really belong. And what I realized is there's cancer survivors of every age, every stage, and finding people that, uh, had a similar sort of situation to me, finding other survivors that were diagnosed in their 30s, was huge, huge for me because I didn't feel as alone. I felt, a little bit more normal in the fact that, okay, there's others that are going through my similar situation, which I felt was like a little bit unique at the time by being diagnosed in my 30s. And that made a huge difference for me. And honestly, I still am so connected to my breast cancer community. Even 10 years later, it's one of the most important relationships of my life is connecting with other breast cancer survivors and sharing information, sharing feelings. There's just a way that other breast cancer survivors understand you that even your closest friends and family can't because they haven't been through it. So that to me has been such a wonderful part of this terrible thing that I had to go through was making this community. And like I said, in the beginning, I was very leery I just thought, I don't think I belong here. I don't think I fit here. And when I kind of let go of that and just said, I should connect and I want to connect and I want to connect with other survivors, that was a real game changer, huge game changer for me. I mean, I think your life is always changed by any cancer diagnosis. I think my breast cancer diagnosis was no different. I really look at my life in terms of before breast cancer and after breast cancer. Um, and I wouldn't say I know there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, I'm thankful for cancer because it showed me this and it showed me that." I'm not thankful for cancer, that was terrible, but I am thankful for myself and how I came through it, and I do feel like it gave me a different perspective on my life and on the world. Because I went through so many lows, I feel like my capacity for joy is so much higher. I feel like I'm have so much more clarity after going through cancer treatment of what's important in my life, what matters in life. Basically, all of those platitudes are true that you are shown sort of a different path before you. And it's not always easy. It's a lot of times still hard. Survivorship, I think, is lifelong. I don't think that you ever stop being a survivor. That's always going to be part of who I am, I feel. Um, but I do feel like I see the world through new lenses and I'm able to have more clarity on the things that are important to me. I think I also am a little bit more bold now. I'm a little more adventurous. I've tried things that I probably wouldn't have tried before cancer. I say yes to more things. I want to make my life what I want it to be and I want to have every experience possible because there are no guarantees and that's sort of the blessing and the curse of cancer is you realize that, your life unfolds and it may not be the way you thought it would be. So now I'm kind of thinking about making it what I want it to be and taking action to make it what I want to be. And that was a real good kick in the pants for me to say, I can make my life what I want it to be. And I have to take action on that. And I don't want to let any opportunities slip by me. I will never do that again. I will never take that for granted. I want to make things happen. And I want to be around the people that make me feel good. And I want to try new things and I want to challenge myself. So it gave me that zest for getting out of my comfort zone because cancer is the ultimate getting out of your comfort zone in a bad way. So I want to get out of my comfort zone in a good way and just really enrich my life with experiences that are meaningful. I think for other people, the thing that I've learned is to listen to your body, to know your body. When I found a lump in my body, I knew it was different enough for me that I needed to get it checked out. And I hope that other people, women, even men can get breast cancer, take that to heart and say, look, if my body's telling me something's wrong, get it checked. It's not worth waiting. It's not worth writing it off. I think as women in this society, we often put things off. We think, okay, I'll deal with that later, or maybe that is probably nothing serious. I have other things to do. I'm working, I have a family, and I have things to do. Right. And so listening and not ignoring those signs that your body's giving you that maybe something is wrong is so important. I feel like I take that so much more seriously now. I'm so grateful that I listened to myself when I felt like something was wrong and I hope that other women know that, this is happening. Breast cancer is happening. We all know that. But Even in your 30s, you can't be complacent, even younger, even in your 20s, you can't be complacent. So knowing your body, talking to your doctor, making sure there's a good dialogue with your doctor if you have concerns or questions is so important because if you have an issue, the sooner you get it checked out, the better off you will be in most cases. And that's half the battle right there. Until we have a cure for cancer, getting treated as soon as possible and detecting cancer as soon as possible is really the tool that we have. And so I just want to let other women know if you're in your 30s, listen to your body. And if something feels different or weird to you, get it checked. It's not worth waiting. Fight like hell to me just means showing up even when you don't want to, even when you don't think you can. You show up and you do what needs to get done. Fight like hell.